Everyone, welcome to my case study 2 presentation. It's about intervention designed for a student with risk of math failure. So the target student is an 8-year-old boy, and he is in grade 3 in the general education class. In the class, there are 23 students and only one general education teacher. So let's look at his mathematics skills. He is able to identify and count numbers from 1 to 100. He can also solve basic one-digit addition and subtraction facts. He also knows 0 to 5 timetables, but he has difficulty in 6 to 9 timetables. In terms of his independent classwork time, he has a lot of off-task behavior, such as moving his chair, using bathroom, or sharpen pencil, or keep having frequent requests to his teachers. And he has a low assignment completion rate during independent classwork time. And if he took his leftover classwork as homework, he found it hard to complete and return his homework. So the aim of the interventions is first, to improve his skills on the 6 to 9 timetables. Second is to improve his assignment completion rate during independent classwork time. So previous study has shown that mathematics failure a lot of time is result from a lack of fluency in mathematics computation skills. So to improve his skills on the 6 to 9 timetable, we will try to increase his multiplication for fluency. And to improve his assignment completion rate, we want to improve his on-task behaviors. So let's look at the definition of target behaviors. The multiplication fluency is defined as the number of problems correct per minute on the assignment sheet. And on-task behavior is defined as the boy will sit quietly and still on his seat, and he will have his head oriented toward the worksheets. He will also work quietly on the worksheets. The intervention we choose for multiplication fluency is this multiple component intervention. Based on the information we have, we know that peer tutoring is effective in teaching Raj solving addition and subtraction problems. So we want to use peer tutoring to teach his multiplication fluency too. In this multiple component intervention, for a peer tutor will show a flashcard to Raj, and Raj is supposed to answer the question verbally. If the answer is right, the peer tutor will say correct, good job, then show him the next card. If the answer is wrong, the peer tutor will show him the right answer and verbally tell him the right answer. For example, it will be 2 times 3 equals 6, and Raj is supposed to write down the equation and the right answer on a scrap paper and write it for 3 times. This is the part for positive practice over correction. And after every 2-minute peer tutoring intervention session, Raj will take assessment on a worksheet. On the worksheet, the 26 multiplication facts on the 6 to 9 timetable will be included, and the multiplication fluency is counted based on his performance on the assessment worksheet. The intervention for on-task behavior is interspersal procedure. So this procedure is based on the matching law. We will try to increase the reinforcement rate for academic behavior to increase his academic engagement. So since Raj is in the general education classroom, there's only one class teacher. So there's no extra teacher for Raj. The way we try to increase the reinforcement rate is to interspersing additional briefer mathematics fact problems on his worksheets during the independent classwork time. So we'll intersperse one additional easier fact problems after every 3 original questions. These kind of problems will based on Raj capability. It can be the one-digit addition or subtraction facts. It also can be 0 to 5 multiplication facts. And Raj's class teacher will rate his on-task behavior after every 5-second interval. After every independent classwork time, the percentage of his on-task intervals will be counted as the on-task behavior data. Let's think about possible results and future studies. In terms of the multiplication fluency intervention, if the intervention works good and we see an ascending trend on the graph, we can design a similar division fluency intervention to improve Raj fluency in division questions with numbers 6 to 9. If there's no ascending trend on the graph, one possible reason is his off-task behavior influenced his performance during the assessment time. So we can use the interspersal procedure to remediate the off-task behavior influence. We can intersperse in easier multiplication facts in his assessment sheet. For example, we can add one multiplication fact with number 0 to 5 after every 3 multiplication facts with number 6 to 9. Another possible reason to influence this intervention can be the peer tutoring session. So it is suggest the teacher to observe and assess the accuracy of the peer tutoring intervention session. In terms of the on-task program, if we can see a good increase in his on-task behavior, it means the program works. So the next step, we can reduce the rate of additional briefer problems. For example, the current ratio is one additional briefer question after every 3 original questions. So the next step, we can reduce it to one additional briefer question after every 6 original questions. If this intervention doesn't work ideally, and we didn't see an ascending trend on the graph, one possible result is Raj is skipping question on the worksheets. He only do the easier question and he left all the difficult ones. So the first thing we need to do is remind Raj he has to answer questions in order. If Raj is answered the question in order, but the intervention doesn't work ideally, there's no ascending trend on the graph, one possible reason is the reinforcement rate is not higher enough. So we can do is to increase the ratio of additional briefer problems. For example, the current ratio is one additional briefer problem after every 3 original questions. So we can increase it to one additional briefer question after every 2 original questions. Another possible reason is the reinforcement quality is not good enough to reinforce Ross' on-task behavior. It can be the reinforcement from the easier mathematics questions is not good enough for Raj. So in that case, we can reintroduce some additional reinforcement. For example, the teacher can give verbal praise to Raj after every 5 minutes if he is stay on task. If the verbal praise doesn't work, we can introduce some other tactile or available reinforcement that Raj is preferred. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for your listening.